Kent is the garden of England, then surely the English cherry is its most precious fruit. From pale orange to deep red, the juiciness and sweetness of the English cherry makes it the queen of all fruits. But it was a king who prompted our passion for cherries back in the 16th century. Henry VIII first tasted them in Flanders. He brought the trees back to Kent, and the British cherry orchards were born. They thrived in our inclement climate for centuries. Hundreds of orchards dotted the countryside, lined with trees laden with juicy, shiny clusters of black and red fruits. Perfect to look at and delicious. Their taste may have been incomparable, but in the last 30 years, they failed to compete with growing imports of European-grown varieties. The number of English cherry farms dwindled to just a handful of producers. 90% of our orchards have disappeared in the last 50 years. But thankfully for lovers of English cherries, there has been a remarkable fight back, a renaissance in homegrown cherries, thanks to a combination of new growing methods and a firm belief that British is best. Today, it's fruit farmers like Tom Hulme that are making the most of new cultivation systems and new varieties. This means more first-class cherries across fewer acres. Like other fruit producers in England, Tom's farm at Ash near Canterbury is providing a sustainable, quality product to meet a resurging consumer demand. In the last 10 years, smaller dwarf varieties of trees have been introduced which produce more fruit. It's also quicker and easier to pick the fruit, so there's less waste. Smaller trees can be better protected by nets and plastic tunnels. The tunnels are necessary because of our climate, in particular summer rain. It's the cherry's enemy. Extensive rain causes the skin to split and the fruit to rot. So from April onwards, many trees are kept under plastic tunnels, keeping the rain and the hungry birds at bay. The covers can also speed up or slow down the ripening of the fruit, which makes the picking process more manageable and means a longer cherry season for the customer. Healthy trees are more resistant to disease and produce a larger crop, so orchards are now sprayed regularly with liquid fertiliser to boost their immunity. Fungicide is used to protect the fruit from brown rot, and insecticide keeps hungry caterpillars and the potentially disastrous cherry aphid at bay. None of this, though, affects the sweet and delectable taste of the English cherry. Every variety is different in colour and size, and each will be ripe and ready to pick at different times during the short harvesting season in July and August. The sugar and acid contents vary, giving subtle differences in flavour, but all are bursting with taste. Today's cherry farmers pick between 3 and 4 tonnes of fruit a day. They mainly supply supermarkets and farm shops. The growth of the farm shop industry has been a massive incentive for fruit growers, as consumer concerns over carbon footprints and food miles drive the need for more local homegrown produce. Many farm shops buy between 7 to 10 tonnes of cherries from local fruit farmers during the harvesting season. This centuries-old traditional industry relies solely on hand-picking the fruit. Cherries are delicate. They can only be picked when they're ripe, and it has to be done quickly and with great care. Any bruising will discolour and blemish the fruit, so only small containers are used to stop any pressure on the fruit beneath. And they're only picked with the stalk attached, To remove it would lead to dehydration and rotting. Once they're picked, they're stored overnight in cold stores before heading to packing houses and then onto the supermarket shelves. Varieties like Penny, Stella, Sweetheart and Regina are all making a new name for themselves. They're supplying a growing demand that hasn't been seen since the 1980s. The short but intensely sweet season of the English cherry is back in business. Unbeatable taste and top quality. Enjoy!